Welcome everybody to the Ways of the Force. It is I, Jake the Wookiee, alongside Logi-Wan Kenobi today. Just a simple show, just the two of us, and we're mainly going to talk about some Star Wars Rebels. The finale was this week, two-part finale, and we're going to just delve into talking about the episode fairly in depth.
Yeah.
So, first off, what do you think? What are your overall impressions of the episode?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was super... it was intense, and I was on the edge of my seat. I feel like, between Rebels and the Clone Wars, there was these episodes where, that they're entertaining and they're fun to watch, but there's just not a whole lot of weight, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the episode right before the finale, where they're on the chopper base, and there's these
crazy
spider things. It's entertaining, and you feel like, oh, the rebels are in danger, and it feels like there's just kind of that concentrated weight with just this group.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think the finale, it felt a lot of ways kind of like the films. Seemed it just had a lot of weight for the Star Wars universe as a whole, and I was like on the edge of my seat, taking in every line of dialogue the same way I would like when I was watching The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Mm-hmm. I know it probably would have worked better if they would have done the episode where they're at the Jedi Temple and then the next episode go instead of the weird chopper episode with the robot one. And then the other one was better than the chopper episode.
It was, yeah. The Mystery Chopper base was better than the Forgotten Droid.
Yeah.
Forgotten Droid I didn't even watch. I kind of just listened to.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really add anything to the story, really.
The only thing you learned, I think, Chopper was in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
that's about all it added.
And I had the new droid that the new droid seems kind of cool, and he'll add a new dimension because I've never personally been a huge fan of Chopper, but yeah, the way that the episodes have been formatted seems kind of like a strange decision to me.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the Chopper one could have been sooner, and
and kept it a little more serious at the end.
If it would have gone straight from the Jedi Temple one to this one, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
It's so intense.
Because, basically start off with this episode, they just waste no time, go straight to Malachor, show up.
and this is the first, well, I guess no, we saw Sith Temple in the Clone Wars, right? With the Yoda goes to a Sith Temple.
And the spirit of Darth Bane shows up. But,
did you know that was voiced by Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
I just realized that this week.
Just hilarious.
That was so cool. Yeah. So the second Sith Temple we've been to, and this one was, it looked so cool.
It did look really cool.
And, those scary, just had this eerie feeling with the bodies on the ground and the lightsabers. You get the crossguard and lightsaber. There's just so much in this episode. So Malachor is where Kylo Ren, he went to Malachor, right?
He must have, I'm guessing, if he basically saw lightsabers that looked like that and decided to make it own, I'm guessing so. So
some sort of big battle took place.
Mm-hmm. I think, during the Old Republic era, because I think Darth Revan or something went to that world as well and talked about it and whatnot. So
I hope that Revan starts to come into play.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if
they canonized him.
He was in the Sith holocron that Ezra gets.
Oh yeah,
because who knows what is in that? So.
Oh man, but yeah, just the look of this Sith temple was really cool. The whole episode just had a darker feeling because of the fact that they're in the Sith temple, and as Ezra's doing things that a Sith should be doing, and
because you basically start off meet a brand new Inquisitor, no idea, just out of nowhere. Wondering
why. Do you think that Inquisitor's job has been to hunt Darth Maul?
I think so.
Yeah, that's my thinking too.
Basically, they knew him as the Shadow, so I think they've been hunting him for a while, ever since the Clone Wars, I'm guessing. So,
which makes me wonder. I the end of Clone Wars, like the end of Darth Maul's arc,
Mm-hmm.
the Emperor says he has a use of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that is explored a little bit in
there was like
a comic or something.
Yeah, there was a
documentary.
comic.
Do you know what the story is?
No, I haven't heard anything about it.
Because there must have been if he was kind of working with the Emperor, must have been some sort of falling out where now he's being hunted.
Yeah, because I know that some of the scripts of the Clone Wars, that one, the Darth Maul, and then there was a book that they did with Asajj Ventress that kind of ended her story as well. So they just had to end a few of the Clone Wars things. Yeah. But yeah, meet Darth Maul, and he's this mysterious little kind of old man.
I love Darth Maul. I thought it was interesting. He has kind of, I mean, it's similar to Yoda in some ways. It starts off and he's very like decrepit sounding, like, put your weapon away, I mean you no harm, like, and but I just loved the interaction between him and Ezra and how it like slowly builds. Yeah. And if Ezra does end up turning dark, which I guess we'll probably discuss a little bit more towards the end of this, but I'm glad that they're doing it this way, like a little bit more gradual, as opposed to what it seemed like happened with Anakin. Like, I'm sure that there's more progression that happened there, but it seemed like Anakin went from like light to dark, just like that.
Because it worried me a little when they showed the preview for this episode, and it looked like Ezra was the one that was choking the Seventh Sister. Yeah. When it was actually Darth Maul, because I was like, oh, that was fast.
Yeah, I know, and I was afraid too that it was going to be kind of that way. That 1 second Ezra's going to be a Jedi, and the second it's a Sith, and so.
Yeah, basically, Ezra meets Darth Maul. Kanan and Ahsoka are fighting the Inquisitors, and Darth Maul slowly reveals stuff. Says like stuff from like the Sith Code a little bit about strength and
hate, and
just little hints. And Ezra is just like, okay, kind of goes along with it.
Yeah, because I think there's a line of dialogue between Ezra and Kanan later on where he says, Maul sees something in me that you don't, or something you need. And so, I think all along, Ezra's kind of had this feeling like there's power in him that he's not able to use because of Kanan's training. And I think in a lot of ways that's probably every Jedi's struggle. Because I can't remember where it comes from, but it might have been Yoda in some. It might have been in the Clone Wars where he says, the way of the Sith is easier. It's fast. It's faster. Yeah. You give into your hate, and that makes you powerful, and it's this quick thing. And whereas Jedi can become more powerful, but it's a longer road, and it's harder.
Yeah.
And
you have to be more patient.
So Kanan or Ezra does not. He's not very patient.
No.
So it seems like he would be susceptible to that kind of sentiment.
Yeah, basically they get into the temple, which is kind of cool how they had to go in together as a team, basically, and lift stuff as they went.
The rule of two.
Yeah.
And Maul kept saying there must be two, no more, no less.
The elevator things had that as well. Yeah. So Kanan about got kicked off of being with Ezra, and Kanan's just like, no.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. It seemed like Darth Maul was Maul, not Darth. Maul was just, he was playing to Ezra's good side. He kept saying things like, you have to give into your hate in order to help your friends. And when he's about to, he tells Ezra to kill the Seventh Sister.
Yeah, I think that's.
And then he doesn't. He says the next time you hesitate, you might lose your life or one of your friends. So he's kind of appealing to that.
And Maul is just brutal in the episode. Kills all of the Inquisitors himself.
Yeah, he's super powerful.
I guess minus the one. Kanan kind of kills the one Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, he disables his lightsaber and then he tries to fly away. And I don't know. It's possible that one's not dead because a lot of them. A lot of them fell off.
Darth Maul fell off.
Ahsoka fell.
so many people fell
Yeah,
off the
so
pyramid.
who knows? He's probably dead, but
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a lot of times in Rebels, I think specifically, where they'll fall off pretty big heights, and then they'll use the Force at the bottom to stop their fall. So
that was kind of the only downside of the episode to me was the Inquisitors flying around with their lightsaber helicopters.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that like it would have that capacity because they already like spin, but very kind of
it was kind
weird.
It was weird because you never saw them do that in any other episode until now.
That's a pretty good ability,
unless like Malachor has more dark side powers, so maybe they are more powerful there. I don't know.
But yeah, the boom, 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 flying around.
It's ridiculous.
They're kind of like Mary Poppins coming in with like her umbrella, like floating down. But yeah, it was. I loved the way that the episode built.
Yeah, because I liked
growing and growing.
The first part. Yeah, it was basically a little slower, and then War in the second episode was just like all.
Seems like
intense action, kind of.
Maul and Ezra get the holocron, and then they come back and see Ahsoka and Kanan fighting with the Inquisitors, and it seems like that's when it really took off.
So I think that's when the episode switched, didn't they? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I just watched it. I watched it afterwards, so I watched it just straight on.
Just straight through.
Like just in the
I downloaded them, so they were two separate things, so I had to watch them separately, but. And
that would make sense.
I don't remember where the difference was, but the moment Maul turns on them was just crazy.
Well, and I wanted to know what that, because he tells Ezra to go up and activate the temple, and he says it's going to give them the knowledge they seek. I mean, clearly he's manipulated them the entire time, and. I guess before that point, when they're getting the holocron, there's a moment when Ezra's like hanging over the edge. Maul's caught him with the Force, and he grabs out for the holocron, and you see this like look in Darth Maul's eyes. And I thought at the moment he was going to betray him.
Yeah, I thought so too right away.
But he must have realized like I still need him, because he kept saying. And there's a point where he said like, Kanan asked him, "Are you trying to keep us here?" And he says, "Yeah, I can't defeat Vader by myself." So he's playing the long game, super manipulative.
Yeah, because at one point he even calls Ezra like his new apprentice or something. So
like, where's Ezra? Oh, you mean my new apprentice?
Yeah. So really pisses Kanan off.
And then blinds Kanan.
Yeah, but then
why didn't he kill him?
I think Kanan just moved out just in the nick of time, maybe, so the lightsaber just caught his eyes instead of his whole head. But then it was like probably Kanan's most badass moment. He put that Sith Temple Guard helmet on and reached out with the Force and just took Darth Maul off the side of the
pretty quickly
temple
too.
Pretty fast, yeah.
And especially after you've seen Maul just like dominating the Inquisitors and no small feat.
Because, definitely, Kanan has to rely on his Force powers now, so he might become a better Jedi because of it.
He's going to be like the Jedi version of Daredevil.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love the part, too, when Maul called Ahsoka Lady Tano. Like, running again, Lady Tano?
I know. He's such a bad guy, but then still has manners to call her Lady Tano.
And he's in great form, like in this episode. Whereas in like the Clone Wars, he seemed like he's like always on the brink of madness. Yeah,
in this episode he's much more deceptive, kind of.
He was scary.
Yeah, I liked his character better.
I liked it a lot better.
The Clone Wars, because with him and like Savage Opress, his brother, it was kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, he just I don't know, and he talked a lot in this episode, but like I said, it seemed like he was so emotional and just crazy in the Clone Wars. Whereas in this one, he was very calculated and manipulative, and
it's cool to see.
He's not a Sith anymore.
Yeah,
whatever he is.
Because and then even Darth Maul is afraid of Darth Vader, though, and Darth Vader ends up showing up.
Yep, coming in on the TIE Fighter. Oh man. Like I got scared when that happened.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then, Ezra held his own for a little bit against Vader until then Vader's just like, enough with you.
Not quite. But I thought the line was cool when Ezra, he said something like, I don't fear you. And then Darth Vader says, well, then you'll die braver than most.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Awesome.
And I love that they got James Earl Jones' voice for, I think that's so cool.
Oh, I know. I'm surprised James Earl Jones is so old.
I know, and in some ways, I kind of like it, the way his voice sounds a little bit better in the Rebels series than even in the original trilogies.
Yeah.
There's something about his voice that just sounds...
It sounds a little more scary, actually. And I like the overall design they did for Vader for the Rebels. It's kind of looks like the original, but then kind of a little different. So.
And the lightsabers are thinner.
Yeah, they went with kind of what they had for the concept art for the lightsabers, so a little different.
Yeah. Man, it was just... But then, like, it all built to that moment when Ahsoka comes, and I mean, he's about to kill Ezra.
Yeah. Ahsoka shows up, and then moment you've been waiting for a while.
And there's... My question, I guess, to you, is she sure that Darth Vader is Anakin?
Yeah, because in the episode with the Jedi at the Jedi Temple, she has the vision of him.
But she says something, and I know this because I literally just watched it over again. Yeah. I wanted to watch it again. She says, "I thought I knew who was behind the mask, but my old master would never be so vile."
Yeah.
So I wonder if she's still like doubting. She can't
believe it, basically.
She knows it, but she doesn't want to believe it.
Because even in the first episode of the season, when Darth Vader first shows up, she has like a feeling when she saves them at the end of the episode.
The part when he says, "So the apprentice lives."
Yeah, so she knows something is up.
Well, she has to. I mean, she's sensitive with the Force. She has to feel something familiar. You know?
Yeah.
So I think she does know it, but she still is wanting to doubt it.
Yeah.
Just because he's a completely different person.
And the lightsaber fight was cool between them. Ahsoka held her own pretty well.
She, I think she might be, besides the Emperor, because I don't know if we'll ever really see him in Rebels. Maybe. Probably then.
They might show him maybe next season for a snippet.
But I would say, in terms of who could stand up and be the most formative opponent against Darth Vader, I would say it'd probably be Ahsoka. Either her or Maul.
Yeah, because Anakin trained her and taught.
She's pretty.
Taught her everything.
She did some pretty incredible things in the Clone Wars, and yeah, she does hold her. And what ends up happening?
Chops part of his mask off, reveals Anakin. So, and it was cool how they did that too.
How they had the mixed voice saying Ahsoka, and that's what really made me believe that before that moment she kind of was doubting it. You know, she was kind of on the fence. I think she knew it, but didn't really want to believe it, because when she hears him say Ahsoka and she recognizes his voice, like she looks almost shocked, or maybe not completely shocked, but something. But yeah, and you see his face and his eyes, and the first time we've seen a recognizable Anakin face behind Vader's mask.
Yeah, by the time Return of the Jedi, he's just a decrepit old man.
We've never seen that before, so for me, it helped me a little bit more to now know that he's behind the mask, because I think in some ways for me too, and when I watch the originals and the prequels, it's hard for me to think of Anakin being behind the mask.
Yeah.
Because he's just so, it's kind of like what Ahsoka said. He's so vile. Like, you can't believe it.
I know. Now you can have the ultimate marathon of watching.
Oh, man.
Prequel, Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith, then Rebels, then the original trilogy.
Yeah, that would only take like a week.
Yeah, long, if not longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, then what do you think of Vader just kind of... He hesitated for a little bit, but then he's just like, oh, well, you're just going to have to die.
You're going to die. Because does Ahsoka say, I can't kill you? I won't kill you?
Something like that, yeah.
And then you have to die.
Yeah. And then...
Oh, and I love, too, how they brought back the Return of the Jedi breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the impaired breathing. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was a cool sound effect, definitely.
And the music was really cool, too. And the moments with Ahsoka and Anakin really added to the emotion of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Because, you don't really notice the music too much in Rebels. Mm-hmm. But it was really good in this episode, so... And then, pretty much leave off to kind of an ending that pissed me off a little bit.
Did it?
Yeah, because you don't exactly see what happens to Ahsoka.
Well, the temple, like, it doesn't explode, but it releases, it releases some sort of energy. It looks like a giant explosion.
Yeah.
But it can't be an explosion because we definitely see
Vader come out.
Maul leave.
Yeah.
And maybe he could have left before it exploded, but Darth Vader definitely didn't have time to leave before it exploded. No. He walks away. Mm-hmm. We kind of see...
You see a figure.
A silhouette of... I mean, it has to be Ahsoka. She was the only other person in there. Kind of walking away, but stumbling.
And then the temple door closes, so then, I don't know, if she is alive, she might be trapped in there, or...
Yeah. I sure hope she's alive.
Yeah.
I mean... I think just for the story, she can't be dead. We have to see her die. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
All we've been through with her through the Clone Wars and now this, we have to see Darth Vader kill her.
Because, I think if she did die, they would have actually showed it.
Because the emotion of that, you just can't. You can't resist that as a storyteller.
Then the creator of the show, Dave Filoni, he even said that, I can't tell you what happened to Ahsoka in like a question and answer thing he did after this episode.
I mean, they struck a perfect balance between, like, you can kind of see her, but you can't really.
And then, pretty much they show back up at the Rebel base. Kanan's blind now. Hera kind of gives a look like, oh.
Crap, what happened?
Yeah. Because then it was interesting, I think it was in the last episode, he said something about, I'll see you again or something, but now he's blind, so...
Liar!
Yeah, which it's a cool way to go with his character. It makes him definitely more interesting.
Yeah.
It's like part Daredevil, part like kind of samurai.
Well, just like you said, he's going to have to rely more on the Force, which... I think might make him more powerful.
I think so, because the way he quickly just dispatched Maul without vision,
Might be, might be kind of like Daredevil, You can't see things, so you become more powerful, and it's, Daredevil doesn't have the Force. So.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if, like, he's going to wear... mask at all, or something over his eyes, or just the way at the end of the episode, just like the
probably have like an X-Men
thing, Cyclops. Yeah,
and I liked the part too. I like how they integrated Rex into it too, to kind of add someone from Ahsoka's past who's still on her side.
Yeah,
and to the exchange with them at the beginning of the episode, I liked too.
And the episode basically ends.
It ends with Ezra opening the holocron.
Yep. Then boom. So
what does that mean? Is he... Because Maul says you either have to be a Sith, or does he say you have to think like them, or you have to understand how they think? He says one of the two.
Pretty much probably you have to be willing enough to seek the knowledge. So there has to be a little bit of dark side in you, I think, if you want to open it. So... Do you think he'll go full dark side in the next season, or do you think he'll resist it?
I think he'll be battling with it.
Yeah, especially with all this new knowledge.
Depending on what he finds.
Yeah,
I mean, it's because the holocron that Kanan has, is that the one with Obi-Wan?
Yeah, that's right.
So, you might see Darth Bane in this holocron, Revan. Yeah, I would imagine one of those two, right?
Yeah.
If it would be cool. It's from the Old Republic. It'd be cool if it was Revan, because then we could get that character in canon. Because he's not yet.
Yeah, and the Darth Bane books I've been reading, that's how Darth Bane actually got all of his knowledge. He found a holocron with Revan in it. So
Cool.
so he basically took all the old knowledge of the Sith and made his own new order out of it. So it'd be interesting if they did something like that. So
Man, I think it's so cool because, like I said, I think besides the Emperor, our most powerful Force wielders now are, you have Darth Vader, who's a Sith. You have Ahsoka, who's a gray Jedi.
Yeah, essentially.
You have Maul, who's a dark side, kind of, I guess, the Sith equivalent of a gray Jedi, and gray Sith, I don't know. And then you have Kanan, who's a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think he'll be more powerful. And just like, so, I like how we have a dynamic that's building that it's not just Sith and Jedi, but there's kind of these middle grounds, and I think they have a lot of stuff they can play with now. And, these 4 examples now of how is Ezra going to go. I mean, he's going to become a Jedi, he's going to be a gray Jedi, he's going to be like Maul, or is he going to be like Vader? It's going to be one of those paths. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. And then with Kanan maybe being a little more hesitant in training Ezra now that maybe he's blind, Ezra might dive more into learning from the holocron maybe, so...
Or maybe Ahsoka will be more involved if she comes back.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Because Darth Maul's definitely coming back. So he got away in the TIE fighter, and
he jacked Vader's TIE fighter.
I honestly think in the next season he'll probably die from Darth Vader, possibly.
Oh, I think we're gonna see a Maul Vader fight. For sure.
Yeah, it's like a fan's dream.
And I would say in the next season we're either going to see Vader kill Maul or Vader kill Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I kind of hope it's Maul.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I like where Ahsoka's going, and I think we need to see more of her.
Yeah, because
we didn't really get a whole lot of character development.
She's only in like 4 episodes this season.
She doesn't really do a whole lot.
She just popped in for maybe like quick scene besides the temple one. That was about it that she's been in.
That was the biggest one we got her in.
Yeah. So interesting to know where it goes. Season 3, I think, might be their last season. I don't know, or they might do one more after that because I know they wanted to do kind of more of a limited run because then they might make an animated show out of the new era of Star Wars.
Really?
So.
That'd be cool. And is Rebels supposed to lead into?
I think it's supposed to
Rogue One or no?
It might have ties to Rogue One.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The name of it. Yeah.
Well, and pretty much lead right into a new Hope, I'm guessing. So I don't think it'll go too much longer because there's only.
So everyone's got to die, right?
Yeah, they might. I don't know. Well, besides some people that stayed in the rebellion and just never showed. There was an interesting thing. Dave Filoni, who's the creator of the show, has said that he wants there's some old rebel in Return of the Jedi that has a gray beard, and he said he wants him to be Captain Rex.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I guess he could live that long, but that would be a really.
I know. You'd think he would die already because he already aged pretty fast from being a clone. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, I like Rex. He's a good character.
Yeah,
it was a great episode. Like I said, it felt like watching one of the episodes just because I was hanging on every moment. It seemed to have a lot of weight.
Yeah.
For what this Star Wars, for defining the Star Wars universe and what it is.
And they were legitimately in danger in this episode.
Oh yeah.
And all the other episodes, you're like, oh, they'll get away. They ran into the Inquisitors like numerous times through the season. They always get away, and then here the Inquisitors die.
Yeah, Maul just murders them all, except for the one.
Yeah, so definitely be cool to see where they go from here, and we might get some more Ahsoka stuff.
I hope so.
They announced a novel for Ahsoka too, which is kind of like our next topic of discussion. So I think it's supposed to be more to bridge the gap between the Clone Wars and where she is in Rebels. So
how she got to be with the Rebel moments.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool, because
Yeah.
you might see some more kind of gray Jedi stuff, where she got those white lightsabers and stuff like that.
Where do you even get white lightsabers?
No idea.
And she must be learning stuff on her own, because she's definitely improved. She's become more powerful than she was. And so she finds someone to train with. I mean, did Qui-Gon reach out to her somehow through the Force? Like, who knows?
Because I don't know.
Qui-Gon's kind of a great Jedi. You might be able to.
They probably would have gotten along pretty well, actually.
Probably.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to read that book. I think it's supposed to come out in the fall or something, so fairly soon. And they call it a young adult novel, but like Lost Stars was a young adult novel.
Yeah, and I really like that one.
Yeah, so I don't think it hurts it.
I think it just means that that's the age of her character, I guess.
Yeah,
and
probably.
I mean, I sure hope there's not like a huge romance element to it. Like, I guess there was that character that she was kind of flirty with in the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. He was a separatist, or what, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Maybe he shows up. I don't know.
But yeah, I think it'll be a pretty cool novel. So
it'll be interesting to see. But I think I've always liked the character of Ahsoka. I think in the Clone Wars there are the moments where she's really complaining. She's kind of annoying.
Yeah, the first season was a little rough with her because she shows up and you're like, who is this?
Yeah, I would say from the moment they switch her outfit, like I can't remember when.
That's right.
That's about when I start to be able to stand her and then start liking her. All building up to the moment when I really like her, which is when she leaves the Jedi Order.
Yeah, that's a really cool episode.
Yeah.
So.
And then now, seeing her in Rebels and how she acts, and just very calm, very knowledgeable, very powerful.
Yeah, she's definitely become I guess she's not a Jedi, but
yeah, something
on the level of a Jedi Knight, basically. But
I like her character. I know some people really, really, really hate her as a character.
Then other people love her. She's probably the most popular character that's never been in a movie. So
yeah. It's very true. She'll never be in a movie, but I think she's consigned to the animated world and now a book. I'm glad they're doing a book. I think that's a great idea.
And plus, like the way her character looks, I feel like in a movie it might look a little weird because they'd have to paint a person or CGI. It'd be kind of a weird look.
They have those characters, but they're always in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was someone who was a main character, it would be tougher.
Yeah. So they have like the Twi'lek Jedi. Ayla Secura, but she was just kind of in the background or something. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she'll survive and pop up in Rogue One.
That would be kind of weird. I don't think I would like that.
Yeah, that would be weird. But yeah,
as she's like a bounty hunter, like kind of like a Asajj Ventress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sound from the synopsis, like the little bit they released, like it's gonna lead up to how she runs into Bail Organa, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Basically, how she becomes Fulcrum. So, which is cool because we only have seen the Rebels through the show's perspective, which is only like the 5 of them. So, don't really see how it was initially formed or anything from Alderaan.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll definitely read it or listen to it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, could be a good year for Star Wars books. Definitely. That and the Leia one comes out fairly soon. Could be a little more of a political thing. So I don't know.
I think it would be good.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident it will be with the writer because I really liked what she did with Lost Stars.
Okay, it's that same writer.
I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know who's writing the Ahsoka one. I don't know if
they said his name, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. Alright, so I think that's it for kind of Rebels and Ahsoka. Move on to talk about, there's just Finn! No biting! There's just a few other snippets of news this week. It was kind of a slow news week. But Episode 8, they chatted with Adam Driver, who plays Kylo Ren, talking about his new movie, and someone asked him a Star Wars question. And he basically first started off with just a smart-ass answer. They're still at war. It's still Star Wars. They're not at peace. So that's the first thing he said about Star Wars.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah. Just kind of a...
No crap. We thought that they would have reconciled in the 2 weeks between the ending of Episode 7 and the beginning of Episode 8.
Yeah. So that was his first thing. But then he went a little more in depth, and because they asked him how the directors differ a little bit between J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam Driver said, like, their temperaments are different. Talking about Rian Johnson, I feel like there was so many moving pieces in the first one, just trying to solve it and set the vocabulary for what it was. There's a lot of that anxiety is gone because people have developed a language. I think it's more of a testament to Rian coming into something very established and making it his own. I can't wait to get on set just because he's so unassuming and intelligent and approachable. The script they've come up with is really great. So, yeah, that to say about Rian Johnson, which I think is good, you know?
Yeah.
Slightly different personality from J.J. Abrams, but
definitely.
I think it took someone like J.J. Abrams to bring Star Wars back to where it was.
I think so. And I like that. I like where where the Star Wars universe is now, and that there is now more leeway for someone like Rian Johnson to come in and do what he's going to do. And I've read things and heard things. People say the script is kind of weird.
Yeah.
In Rian Johnson's way.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. I think someone said that Lawrence Kasdan read it and said it was weird.
Yeah. Which I think is good. I think
if it's...
It needs a little bit of weird, I think.
A little bit of weird and dark and...
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's a good weird.
Yeah.
It's not really crazy.
Yeah. Well, the original movies were pretty weird at times. Like the first movie started off with only C-3PO and R2-D2. They get kidnapped by Jawas. It starts off weird. Just kind of a weird vibe. So, or The Force Awakens didn't have too weird of moments. Something.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy like George Lucas would do, but could see something pretty cool. And,
I hope so.
And Adam Driver also had this to say about his life basically after The Force Awakens. I didn't turn into a new person. Nothing happened to me, but a lot of people saw it, and that was good. I guess my Christmas is kind of easier now. The toys and things for family. Kids is a big thing. I feel like before parents kept me away from their kids. Now it's like, go get a picture. So basically just...
Weird answer.
Yeah, well, I think he's a pretty weird guy.
I don't know what that means. In some way, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but in some ways he doesn't really sound super jazzed to be... He's very different than Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, who every time somebody interviews them, they're like, oh,
very
I'm so excited to be a part of
yeah.
this, and I love that I get to do this, and whereas Adam Driver, it didn't change my life. It's BS, dude. You mean you're in a series called Girls, you're in this midnight special, which is kind of, it's been released wide, but it's kind of like an indie film.
It's like an indie superhero. It almost kind of looks like X-Men, which looks cool, but...
Or E.T. or something like that. So, I mean, you're not a big actor. Star Wars has changed your life. I had no idea who Adam Driver was before.
No,
The Force Awakens. So for him to say it didn't change his life, I think it's just BS.
Yeah.
It's just him being, I guess he's kind of a smart A.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of, I think he's a little bit of a weird guy. Possibly more like the character he plays, kind of.
Maybe. We're going to get a story about him murdering his father.
He's a weird guy, but I think it's definitely cool waiting for Episode 8.
There was a better interview, actually, that took place this week. Did you read anything or watch anything about the interview that Collider had with Obi-Wan? Or with Ewan McGregor?
Yes, I did listen to that.
He kind of had some things to say. I mean, I think they were interviewing him about another movie too, but mostly asked him about Star Wars. He talked a little bit about seeing the film and having his voice in it, and then they asked him straight up, has Lucasfilm talked with you about doing an Obi-Wan standalone film? And he said, I'm not at liberty to say.
Yeah. So I think they are going to do it.
He even said something like, he said he would love to do it.
Mm-hmm. He himself's like a big fan of Star Wars. That's why he came to do Episode 1 in the first place. And so
he mentioned something about a trilogy.
Yeah.
Which, I guess, would you like to see an Obi-Wan trilogy?
I would like it, but I don't know how much story they can talk about with him in the time period he would be in before the original movie. Unless he goes off Tatooine for a while and gets into all sorts of trouble. But I think just one movie would be okay.
I would like it, but I think this is my problem with doing movies like this, which kind of like happen either before movies we've seen already or in between movies we've seen. I feel like any sort of action that takes place, it's gonna, we know he doesn't die.
Yeah.
So. But I guess that doesn't completely take weight away from things because, you watch Rebels and it's really dramatic, even though we know Darth Vader's going to survive and
possibly kill everyone else.
But I guess that's why I don't think it could work as a trilogy, is because we know ultimately he's going to survive and he's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to introduce like another character or other characters or a different element that gave it some weight.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Obi-Wan. I would love to see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan again somehow. Although I think they also asked him straight up, are you going to be a Force Ghost in Episode 8 or Episode 9? And I liked his answer. He said, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It would need to be Alec Guinness.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was the Force Ghost before. And why would it be me now? Like, Luke would all of a sudden be talking to some completely different guy.
So I think, honestly, we might not see any Force Ghosts in the new movies.
I don't think so.
So I think that end moment on Return of the Jedi, I think that might be the last time you see the Force Ghosts, just because they kind of came to a reconciliation, told Luke everything
they kind of did what they needed to do to balance the Force, which was kind of like Yoda's end game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
Because then I don't know how long Force Ghosts stay around. Do they eventually pass on to somewhere else?
Yeah. Like, I could see it being a possibility in the future. Like, if Luke became a Force Ghost for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you have Adam Driver, who's currently involved in the Star Wars universe, and he's in these episodes for sure, and he's acting like it's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Ewan McGregor, who, in my opinion, is a way better actor and way bigger actor. He acts like a Star Wars fanboy, and he just loves it. He's not even involved in it, as far as we know. His voice was in the movie, so it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Having those two interviews take place in the same week and reading them, and it kind of makes me hate Adam Driver, which I guess is okay because I'm supposed to hate Kylo Ren. So maybe that's good. Maybe that's what he's playing at.
Yeah, comes across
piss off Star Wars fans more, so we hate him.
Yeah, so a lot of people gave him crap because at the big Star Wars celebration, everyone else seemed to super excited to be there and stuff. And then Adam Driver was just kind of hanging out in the background.
Yeah. I don't know, whatever.
Hey, he's making the movies, likes doing it to some degree, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, he at least likes the money, so.
Yeah.
As long as he brings a great performance. We hate him, which I guess is what we're supposed to.
Yeah. The other interesting thing I heard about Kylo Ren while filming The Force Awakens, he filmed almost all of his scenes without the mask on. So then, when they went to post-production, they were kind of talking around, and they finally came to the conclusion that they should leave the mask on him up until that moment where he interrogates Rey.
Interesting. So they put it on digitally?
Yeah, you can't even tell.
That's incredible.
Because there's the first time you see Snoke, and he basically doesn't have a mask on at all. they've showed like a snippet, and then they put the mask on him digitally, and you cannot even tell the difference.
Huh? Is that going to be part of the documentary?
I think the special features. Yeah.
Oh man, it's been so hard for me to not buy the digital.
Digital. I know. Just
like see it advertised. I'm like.
Yeah.
I just have to click.
Just hold off till Tuesday.
I know.
And you get the digital for free with the Blu-ray, I think.
So hard. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Target usually does it, and their vendors would too.
Yeah. Have you stuck with the Target version?
I think, yeah.
That's where
I'm going to go.
I think that's what I'm going to get too. I did see that the Walmart one, the BB-8 cover, like actually opens up to reveal, I think, Rey, Finn, and Han Solo on the inside of BB-8. So it's not just BB-8, but then you don't really get anything else with it though. Target has kind of the weakest cover, but get some bonus stuff. So
yeah,
almost there, Tuesday.
I know, 3 days. Well, speaking of BB-8,
yeah, there was a BB-8 themed plane. It was completely decked out.
The Japanese.
Yeah. Go on a Japanese flight. You can fly in a BB-8 plane. Because the entire outside, then like the inside, there were like towels and all sorts of weird.
And, like the thing on the back of the seat. Well, they said it was one of 3. Did I read that right? Does that mean there are others that they're producing, or are there ones that they've made already? And I
think they're all just exactly the same. They made 3 BB-8 ones.
BB-8
so that they have basically in rotation going to Japan, I guess.
Interesting.
So, would you fly in a BB-8 plane?
Well, I don't really want to go to Japan, so...
Yeah, I know.
I guess. I mean,
they showed Star Wars nonstop on the plane. That'd be cool.
And, like, if the safety instructions at the beginning were just BB-8s.
That'd be awesome.
Well, they said all the flight attendants too have like BB-8 outfits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, even to the Japanese to be obsessed with robots and droids.
The BB-8, yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, I just thought it was a kind of a cool random thing for doing.
It was weird.
The far extent that Star Wars merchandising has gone.
Yeah, the whole plane. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Before you know it, they're just going to put Star Wars on the moon or something.
They're going to make a Millennium Falcon.
They might.
That would be cool. I would ride in that, that's for sure.
Or Disney is secretly constructing their Death Star.
Yeah, on the moon.
With all the money they're making now.
Take out other companies.
So, pretty much go on to the next topic. There was just some random fan made like a quick little video comparing The Force Awakens and A New Hope. Just kind of side by side, showing a lot of the similar shots, which basically the intro is like the most similar, and then after that he was kind of reaching a little bit, I thought.
Yeah. Like the things with with obviously the parallels between like BB-8 and R2-D2 and having the Death Star plans and the map and
the whole intro, just basically
the stormtroopers and Kylo Ren. Yeah. Which I couldn't tell, like, was the person making this film to, like, degrade The Force Awakens in terms of
I'm not necessarily
it as a film, or just show that they, it was homage of A New Hope, and it was
maybe be taken both ways, because that's kind of what they did anyway. It's like, it wasn't exactly a remake. It was just more of a homage to the original, I thought. So, and I think it kind of had to be.
I do. I agree with you. I don't think anyone who likes The Force Awakens is delusional in terms of thinking that we got a super unique story.
Giant planet destroying thing.
Yeah, a map hidden in a droid to somebody. Yeah. We find a young teenager who's on a planet and they want something more. And
a mentor.
Find out they're a Jedi. A mentor, But it was different enough but to me, it's all about the characters, introducing new characters, and I think it had to feel like Star Wars, and it had. So I think J.J. Abrams did the right thing in terms of he made sure it felt like Star Wars, so he made it in a lot of ways a shot for shot.
Yeah.
In some instances, remake of a Star Wars movie.
Because that was probably part of his initial pitch, because I feel like that's kind of what J.J. excels at.
Yeah.
Like the way he brought Star Trek back, and they kind of needed him to do that to Star Wars, so it's probably part of the initial story and stuff. It's just kind of be a homage to the original Star Wars, similar stuff, but then that's what brought all the fans to like it again.
Yeah.
So,
and I think J.J. Abrams is good at that, and I don't think that just should diminish him as a director, because I don't think it's an easy thing to do.
mm-hmm.
I don't think it's easier even than creating a completely unique story. In some ways, I think creating a unique story might be easier. I think Rian Johnson's job now might be easier than what J.J. Abrams had.
Probably.
Whereas he had to introduce new characters, but also pay respect to all generations of Star Wars fans and bring them into this and have them accept this as a Star Wars movie and set it up for the future where we can now maybe take it in some different directions.
Mm-hmm. And
it's not an easy job, and I think he did it really, really well.
And they had to do it as a launching off point. You can watch this movie without having seen any other Star Wars movie. So
you can, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. I guess we'll probably find out more when we watch the Blu-ray stuff. So,
yeah,
more in the making of the movie, and yeah, I think overall, not all fans will be pleased with any of these new movies, but it's their problem.
There's always going to be those fans. Just go watch the original.
Yeah.
Just go away. I mean, you don't want to see more. I don't know.
Go crawl back in your hole.
What's going to satisfy you? I have no idea.
Yeah.
You're never probably going to like anything that's different than. Nope. Because I mean, if a diehard Star Wars fan who loves the originals doesn't love this one,
mm-hmm.
it is so similar to the original one that you have no reason not to like it.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever.
All right, and moving on to our last topic of our show today, just kind of talk about Star Wars movie do you think had the best opening scene? We talked about the best ending, so now we'll discuss the best opening.
They're also similar.
Apparently.
It's always in, it starts in space and there's a ship.
And then basically...
Usually a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it usually shows the bad guys first, I feel like.
Because now I'm trying to think of how all of them start. So
A
New Hope starts with a Star Destroyer chasing after
the Tantive 4, and then bringing it and having it boarded.
Then Empire Strikes Back starts out with the Star Destroyer launching the little probe that lands on Hoth. Return of the Jedi.
It starts off with Darth Vader showing up to the new Death Star.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then it goes off to Jabba's place after that. So.
And then Episode 1 starts with the whole Trade Federation. I'm going to say no to that one.
Yeah, that one was the weirdest opening.
Yeah.
Well, Attack of the Clones had probably the most.
Attack of the Clones had going on to Coruscant.
Yeah, the bomb.
But that one included Natalie Portman, so I'm going to say no to that one too. And then I would say Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it, that is one of my favorites.
Because, it just throws you right into that space battle.
I love, too, how, the two Jedi fighters are flying alongside the Star Destroyer, and then they flip over on the other side, and it's just chaos. There's just this huge battle just waging. And I would say I think that one, out of all 7, is the most unique.
Yeah. Probably. Because, never start off
unique in a good way, I guess, because Episode 1 and 2 are pretty unique.
Yeah.
But I don't like those ones necessarily as much.
Mm-hmm. And then Force Awakens obviously starts off with the assault on Jakku, which was an intense opening.
Well, I loved that the shot where it's inside of the transport and the lights are like flickering on and off and the stormtroopers. So
the stormtroopers popped out and they actually looked scary for once.
yeah, they're shooting accurately.
Yeah, that in the original Star Wars they actually shot accurately, killed a bunch of people, and then Vader showed up.
Yep.
So I'd probably say, yeah, Revenge of the Sith, the original Star Wars, and The Force Awakens, I think, have the three best openings.
Yeah, which one would you say was the best?
The best? I might be with you on Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
Yeah, because basically, yeah, because I like that whole opening. It gets a little cheesy once they finally board that ship.
Yeah.
Then R2 throws out some weird oil or something.
I'm not going to consider that part of the opening. I'm going to say the first minute is considered the opening.
Yeah. Because you finally get to see Anakin's flying a ship, looking cool.
Doing cool stuff.
Yeah. So.
Although, the way he tries to handle the buzz droids.
Yeah.
There's I'm trying to remember what exactly happens, but there's a moment in the Clone Wars where there's a similar moment between Ahsoka and Anakin. Anakin is buzz droids on his ship, and Ahsoka does something to help him out. I think she actually gets out of her ship and jumps onto his and takes him off or something. But anyway, maybe Anakin couldn't do that in the space they were in, or who knows. But yeah, it starts to get weird. I'm interested to see though, is Episode VIII going to start in the sky?
I still have no idea how that's
start
going to
on the
work.
island.
Because they've pretty much confirmed it's starting right away, but it's just a matter of...
It could still start with, Kylo Ren on a ship or something.
I think they might do that, possibly.
Because, the crawl is always in space.
Always in space, so you always
so
have
it makes
to have
sense that's always, space has got to be the first.
Because, with Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, they were only in space for a short time.
Just to introduce that this thing has landed on Hoth. They're looking for the Darth Vader's on the Death Star.
I bet it will probably start with Kylo Ren, actually. Possibly going to see where Snoke is, so you might see him arrive, whether he's on a huge Star Destroyer, or...
Might be wounded a little bit, too.
Yeah, wounded, or go to some weird planet where Snoke is, wherever he is, and then it might cut to the island. Yeah.
So, yeah, because I don't really see how they could go straight from the crawl in space to the island.
The only way is if they
really weird.
redid that entire scene with Rey landing the Millennium Falcon onto the planet, but then you're like, watch this all over again?
Yeah. I guess they could do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
They usually like to start off a little more with a bang, so I feel like they'll probably go first order.
Yeah.
The opening, so, yeah.
Interesting, though. We'll see.
Yeah. So, anything else for the week?
I'm still just pissed that we know nothing about Rogue One. I feel like at this point, I'm more excited for Episode VIII, and Episode VIII is 2 years away.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about Rogue One.
I feel like possibly, since the Blu-ray is dropping, maybe we'll get something the week after, or soonish. Or they'll make us wait for Civil War. I don't know.
Yeah, someone made a good point. I think, I can't remember. I was listening to some movie podcast or something, and they were saying it would be a good idea for them to release a trailer with the Jungle Book.
Yeah, they could do that as well.
Might go and see Jungle Book literally just to go and see the Rogue One trailer. I could see myself doing that.
Yeah, I might see Jungle Book anyway. It's kind of cool. But
it does look cool, but that might push me over the edge.
Yeah, because then in the summer, it's like in the middle of the summer, but Disney's having basically their own show.
Their own.
Kind of like Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
But they're doing it the week before Comic-Con.
That's what I heard.
As
the
kind
big
of,
Comic in
yeah,
San Diego.
as kind of a dick move. So they're pulling their Marvel and Star Wars stuff probably out of Comic-Con. So they'll probably have a lot of big announcements when that comes around.
I think it's smart.
Yeah. Disney has the money and
they're gonna
stuff.
make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sucks for Comic-Con now.
We'll see.
People will go to both, I'm sure.
If they live in the general
But I've heard
area,
it's like, I mean, I'm not into the whole Comic-Con thing, but I heard it's like impossible to get tickets to San Diego Comic-Con.
They're super expensive, and I think they just sell out right away.
Yeah.
So.
They kind of like make fun of it on The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, they like sell out immediately. So I think that would be good for comic book fans and whatever.
I think it'll be good for Star Wars. They can have their own special thing.
And they'll probably release more stuff. More news, and they'll have to have more content.
Yeah, I'm guessing that is when you'll start to see the big push, possibly a trailer 2 for Rogue One, middle of the summer.
For
sure.
I
hope they don't wait for the first one till then, but...
Yeah, I still think the timeline would probably be Civil War. You'll see the first one, and then, like you said, probably around that Disney Comic-Con, you'll see Disney Con or
I forget what it's.
I
think Disney Expo or something. I forget what it's called.
See the second trailer and
and then basically the merchandise will hit in the fall as the promotion up until the movie. Because there's going to be a lot of Star Wars books coming out. The Ahsoka one in the fall, the Rogue One tie-in books and stuff. So,
I just want it. Just give it to me. I'm so interested to see how these Star Wars stories. I hate that, but I'm so interested to see how they go. I really want them to do well.
Yeah. So we'll see. And I think probably our next episode we'll do. Why just talked about the Force Awakens Blu-ray. So. Probably give you our full in-depth review of it, what we like, what we don't like.
I may or may not be here.
Okay.
We'll see, though.
Okay. You can always wait, figure something out. But that was pretty much it for the show. It was just myself, Jake the Wookiee, and Logi-Wan.
Let's be honest, we're the best parts anyway.
Yeah,
so.
We're the best parts. The bearded duo, basically.
We're basically here every week, so we're the regulars.
Yeah.
We are the Ways of the Wars podcast.
Yeah, and make sure to...
I'm just kidding. All the other people need to come too.
Yeah, it's a little more fun with more people, but, we make do.
We did it out.
Probably talks longer than normal.
Yeah, some episodes.
And, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, check out all our other videos, and, that's it. May the Force be with you all.